So this is from Mediaite. John Kasich reportedly running for president again. Basically, do not know ever since, really since the campaign started for Donald Trump. There's been a huge amount of infighting between the pro and anti-Donald Trump Republicans. You know, the pro-Trump ones being people who worked on their cabinet, for instance, people who changed sides like Ted Cruz, or people who were always on his side like McConnell. And of course, there are also the people who, never remain on his side, like Bill Kristol, or most popular of all since he did run in 2016, John Kasich. John Kasich holds a distinction for not only being the most popular never-Trump Republican, getting 161 delegates, making him 4th place in the actual primary race, just behind, Trump, Cruz, and Rubio, but also for being the only one to reject a Donald Trump cabinet position, that being Trump offering him the ability to be his vice president. Ever since then, there's been a lot of talk about John Kasich potentially running in 2020 as either a Republican or an independent, and it's clear John Kasich, even if he is just considering it, he's obviously leaning more towards the yes side. He's been talking about on and off for months now. There was the whole thing with Hickenlooper. In general, the media really seems to want him to run. It's clear that, at the very least, they want him to give it a shot. They don't know whether or not he's going to do it. They just know that there's a good chance he'll run at this point. Of course, if John Kasich runs the Republican, he has absolutely no chance of stealing the nomination. Neither does Mark Cuban, by the way, as no Republican has ever primaried a sitting president. Even Ronald Reagan failed. Think about that for a second. John Kasich must think he's more beloved, and Mark Cuban, if he's actually going to try, must think they're more beloved within the Republican Party than Ronald Reagan. That's an ego. Now, John Kasich denied it in an interview with Fox News. However, that's what you do early on. You drop some hints going, well, I do want to see some things change, but I'm not interested, and outlined what he thinks the Republican Party needs to do, including becoming more environmentally focused, which I do agree with, instituting massive education reform, which, if you have been paying attention to the state of Ohio, his form of education reform is give public dollars to charter schools or private schools, which has not only drastically ruined Ohio's educational system, but doesn't even make it a free market, since some schools would have to follow more regulations than others. Again, I've said this before, if you want to make a case for loosening school regulations or even getting rid of them, then fine, make that case. However, don't make it so certain schools have to follow other regulations, and staying away from the Make America Great Again sentiment of the past. And that one, I think, could go either way. There has to be a fundamental change, in my opinion. With all of us, I'm willing to be part of that. I want my voice to be out there. I want it very, very much, he added in the Fox News Sunday appearance. This is from the article itself. Given his constant criticism of the president and the current state of the party as a whole, a Kasich run head-on against Trump would make sense. So, odds are, yes, John Kasich's going to run in 2016. Meaning that, first off, the media has been focusing more on the primary that's obviously going in someone's favor, that being in the favor of Donald Trump, than the Democrats, which could actually win and actually have a chance of getting a decent primary. But okay, let's review the current options for 2020, none of which have officially announced on the Republican side. However, they've basically applied it so heavily they might as well announce it. Those are the sitting president of the United States, who historically has the best chance, some NBA loudmouth, or Mark Cuban, and the governor of Ohio, who no one knows and got precisely 3 votes last time, or John Kasich. I wonder who's going to win. That's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.